All right, everybody, welcome back. I am pumped for this deep dive.
Yeah.
I uh I got to tell you,
I know, I'm excited too.
we've got this awesome YouTube video we're going to dig into today.
Right.
It's by Dr. Ramachandra RK, and it's all about English communication skills.
Mm.
And I'm telling you, I thought I knew a thing or two about communication.
Yeah.
But this video blew my mind,
Oh, yeah.
especially all the stuff about nonverbal cues.
Yeah.
It's crazy how much we communicate without even realizing it, right?
Absolutely. It's like a whole secret language we're speaking with our bodies and our tone of voice.
So get ready to learn a ton, because we're about to uncover some serious communication secrets.
I'm ready.
I can't wait.
Ah.
All right, so let's jump right in. Dr. RK starts off by really highlighting why English communication skills are so important these days.
Yeah, he gets right to it.
He calls English the international language, and I mean,
yeah, and he makes a pretty bold statement about it, right?
he says, let me see if I can find the exact quote. Hold on. People all over the world are communicating with other regions in only one internationally recognized language. That is English.
Wow, yeah.
So no matter what your goals are, whether you're into science or technology or business, or even if you just want to travel the world, English is key.
Yeah, it's true. It's like a passport to connect with people from all different cultures and backgrounds.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there. It's like a universal language that unlocks so many opportunities.
Yeah, it's like a superpower almost.
It really is.
Well,
But here's the thing, and this is where it gets really interesting. Dr. RK doesn't stop at just speaking English. Well, he goes deeper.
he does, yeah.
He talks about mastering the art of communication as a whole.
Exactly. And, a big part of that is nonverbal communication.
Right. All those unspoken cues we send out all the time. Like, have you ever had someone tell you something and you could tell by their tone of voice or their body language
Yeah.
that they didn't really mean it?
Oh, all the time. I mean, think about when you were a kid and your parents said, "We'll see," but you knew it was a no.
Exactly.
You just knew.
Yeah, or like when your boss says, "Good job," but they're like not even looking at you and their arms are crossed.
Yeah, right. You're like, okay, what's the real feedback here?
Oh, totally. Dr. RK calls this parallel instance,
Mhm.
which is basically the idea that how we say something can completely change the meaning of the words themselves.
It's like our body language is sending a separate message that contradicts what our words are saying.
Yeah, exactly. And he breaks down all these different aspects of nonverbal communication, like eye contact, facial expressions, even personal appearance.
Right, and it's not just about being superficial or judging people. It's about understanding that these nonverbal cues can really influence how our message is received.
Right. Like I never thought about how much my posture or my hand gestures could actually be communicated to other people.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. If you're slouching and avoiding eye contact, people might perceive you as being unconfident or disinterested.
Right. Whereas if you stand up straight, make eye contact, and use open hand gestures, it shows that you're engaged and confident.
Exactly. And, you don't even have to be a master orator to communicate effectively sometimes. Just a few simple nonverbal cues can make a huge difference.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
So let's rewind a bit and talk about the actual verbal part of communication, the speaking and listening part.
Yeah, that's the foundation.
Right. Dr. RK highlights 5 key skills here.
Okay, lay 'em on me.
Listening,
Okay.
speaking, reading, writing,
Mhm.
and get this thinking.
Thinking, okay, I wouldn't have put that one on the list, but now that you say it, it makes total sense.
Right, I know.
Yeah.
It's not the first thing that comes to mind, but
Yeah, you don't think about it as a communication skill necessarily, but
right. But it's so important because clear thinking leads to clear communication.
right. It's like if you haven't thought through what you want to say, how are you going to communicate it effectively?
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
like you need that solid foundation of thought before you can build a coherent message. And then, of course, once you have those thoughts organized, then comes the whole speaking part, which can be nerve-wracking for a lot of people.
Oh, tell me about it. Like public speaking. I still get butterflies every time.
Oh, yeah, me too. I think everyone does to some extent. But, the more you practice, the more comfortable you become.
Right. And that's where active listening comes in too, because it's not enough to just hear the words. You have to really understand the message behind them.
Right. And you have to show the other person that you're listening, that you're engaged, and that you care about what they have to say.
Yeah, I'm so guilty of just waiting for my turn to speak sometimes.
Oh, I think we all do that sometimes. It's human nature, but being a good listener is about being present in the moment and really absorbing what the other person is communicating.
Yeah, and reading and writing might seem more straightforward, but they actually require a whole different set of skills.
Absolutely. And they're just as important as speaking and listening in today's world.
Especially in the digital age where we're constantly bombarded with information. Yeah, we're reading and writing all day long, whether it's emails or social media posts or even just texting.
Right. And it's so important to be able to sift through all that information and extract the key takeaways.
Yeah, and to be able to express yourself clearly and effectively in writing so that your message is understood.
Okay, so we've covered verbal communication. Let's circle back to nonverbal communication because we only scratched the surface.
Yeah, there's so much more to explore.
There is. So we talked about parallel instance, but Dr. Arcade dives into all these other fascinating aspects like eye contact, facial expressions, personal appearance.
Yeah, and it's interesting how different cultures can interpret these cues differently.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Like I remember traveling to another country and realizing that my usual eye contact was actually considered rude.
Yeah, and even within the same culture, there can be different norms and expectations.
Right. It's all about being aware of those subtle differences and adjusting our behavior accordingly.
Right, and it's not about being fake or trying to be someone you're not. It's just about being respectful of other people's communication styles.
Right. So let's talk about some specific examples. What about posture and gestures?
Okay, so posture can communicate a lot about our confidence level. If you're slouching and looking down at the ground, it can make you seem insecure or unsure of yourself.
Right. And on the other hand, if you stand up straight and make eye contact, it projects an image of confidence and authority.
Exactly. And then gestures can be used to emphasize points or even reveal hidden emotions.
Yeah, like I tend to talk with my hands a lot. I'm a very expressive person.
Me too. And that can be a good thing. It can make you seem more engaging and enthusiastic.
Right. But it's also important to be aware of the context and the audience.
Exactly. Like if you're in a formal setting, you might want to tone down the hand gestures a bit.
Right. And then there's proxemics, which is all about personal space.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one. And it can vary widely from culture to culture.
Definitely, like in some cultures, it's perfectly normal to stand very close to someone while you're talking.
Right. But in other cultures, that would be considered an invasion of personal
Yeah,
space.
and it can make people feel really uncomfortable.
Yeah, so it's important to be mindful of those cultural differences and adjust our behavior accordingly.
Right. And it's not just about physical distance, it's also about respecting people's boundaries.
Exactly. And, that includes things like not interrupting people, not talking over them, and giving them space to express themselves.
All right, so we talked about eye contact, facial expressions, posture gestures, proxemics. What else is there?
Oh, there's still more.
Okay, what am I missing?
Well, there's paralinguistics, which is all about the way we use our voice to communicate.
Okay, so like tone of voice, pitch, volume, that kind of thing.
Exactly. And it can have a huge impact on how our message is received.
Where like if you say something in a sarcastic tone, it can completely change the meaning of the words.
Totally. And, it's not just about sarcasm, it's about using our voice to convey emotions, emphasize certain words, and create a certain mood or atmosphere.
And this is especially important for non-native English speakers, right?
Yeah.
Because even small errors in pronunciation can sometimes lead to misunderstandings.
Yeah, that's something Dr. RK emphasizes right at the beginning of his video. He talks about the importance of enunciation and pronunciation.
Yeah, he says that even if you have a great vocabulary and grammar, if your pronunciation is unclear, it can make it difficult for people to understand you.
Right. And, the good news is that there are tons of resources available to help people improve their pronunciation.
Yeah, there are apps, websites, even language exchange partners.
Right. And, it's all about practice and paying attention to those subtle sounds.
So I think we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have. It's been a whirlwind tour of communication.
It has, but I think it's safe to say that effective communication is a powerful combination of both verbal and nonverbal skills.
Absolutely. It's not just about the words we say, it's about how we say them and all the unspoken cues we send out.
Right. It's about being mindful of our body language, our tone of voice, and our overall communication style.
And it's about being respectful of other people's communication styles and cultural differences.
So now that you're more aware of all these elements of communication, how do you think you can level up your skills?
Yeah. What small changes can you make today to become a more effective communicator?
It's definitely something to think about, and if you're eager to learn more, I highly recommend checking out Dr. Ramachandra RK's YouTube channel. You'll find a ton of great insights there.
Yeah, he's got some really interesting videos.
He does. Until next time, happy communicating.
Bye, everyone.
See ya.